What's going on, guys? Irvin Felix Jean here, and we are in this section. We're going to be talking about mobility. So we have our special guest, a mobility expert, William. Please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are and your background in mobility.
Sure. I appreciate you having me, Irvin. My background in mobility, I have a background in kinesiology, certified personal trainer, massage therapist for over 15 years, specializing in neuromuscular therapy and active release. And, you know, my background really just consists of a lot of trial and error as far as understanding how the body works.
Mm-hmm.
The body is very complex when it comes to, the kinesiology of how our body is capable of moving and what we're taught in basic schools. So, like I said, mine's primarily based off of movement exploration.
Movement exploration.
Become more efficient with my body,
Mm-hmm.
and teaching others how to do the same.
All right, very good. I like that. And a lot of people don't really understand. I mean, myself included. I'm learning more and more about how the body works and how you can achieve a specific desired outcome by teaching yourself to move in a an optimal way. So as it pertains, like, let's talk about the workplace.
Yeah.
There's a lot of common injuries as it comes down to back problems. Why do you think that is? Like, what is a main thing that you would
Sure.
say attributes to injuries such as that?
Back problems in particular, it varies. There's a lot of underlying causes.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about the workplace, most people work typical 9-to-5 jobs. We sit in chairs that have our hips and knees at a 90-degree sort of angle,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not the way our bodies are really designed. We've lessened the ability for us to become efficient with, like, let's say a squat, for example. So stuck in that position, whether you're sitting on a chair or driving a car, you become quite sedentary, and you're not really mobilizing your and in turn you can develop overactive hip flexors, for example, which
Mm-hmm.
is a primary cause of back pain, large degree, in a lot of people. Primarily people who are at the workplace sitting in that sedentary position for quite some time. So that's probably one of the major causes, in my opinion. Obviously, there's other factors as well.
Mm-hmm.
Rounded shoulders, for example, when people slouch, that creates the pecs stretching out of the upper back, and in time that can produce pain and discomfort everywhere from the neck. You see people all the time sitting there slouched over like this, and it's a very it's generally not natural for us to do that, especially for a long period of time. And we tend to do it, sit in front of a computer for an hour, and then we get up and we're like, oh, my back feels stiff, or my neck, or whatever the case is. So that's probably one of the most common causes. The way we sit is really what it comes down to, I would say, for the most part.
I can attest to that. Sitting for an extended period of time, and fortunately, I do work out a lot as well. But I can imagine for individuals who, they hardly ever get any movement other than sit up, go to their refrigerator, go home, and that's it. But they don't actively try and engage these specific muscles. So let's talk about it. What is a basic plan of action that someone can go about having those type of injuries? What is something they could do to either fix it or strengthen those muscles that are weak due to lack of movement?
That's a good question. And a plan of action, I would say, first and foremost, is to educate yourself. A lot of people go to the chiropractor, or they go to a massage therapist or a physical therapist, and they want to become fixed. And don't get me wrong, all of those are very valuable. You can get so much value out of going to a chiropractor. I go to a chiropractor. I get massages. I've been to physical therapy. The problem, though, is that a lot of people neglect responsibility. They want the therapist to fix them, as opposed to them taking the initiative to educate them what is the underlying issue. And in most cases, they have to become more consciously aware. Not in most, in all cases,
Mm-hmm.
They need to be consciously aware of what is going on in their daily routines that's causing that. Whether it is the rounded shoulders, whether it is sitting down for 8 hours a day. So education, in my opinion, is the first and foremost factor that you really need to take a look at if you want to become, if you want any sort of pain or any really outcome you desire. So once you become educated, meaning do some research, pull up a video online, read an article about low back pain, and understand that there's so many components that affect. So the solution being education and proper education, researching, effective, books. So it's really complex. I know I'm giving you a little bit of an abstract answer. I wish I can say here's what you do. You just kind of but it really boils down to, if you want to make a lasting change, you have to just become more educated. So I would say education is key. To be more specific, when it comes to, like, let's say low back pain, again, considering there's a lot of different causes, it's really just about mobile area that kind of feels maybe somewhat discomforted. So a good thing that you can do would be reversal thing to do, kind of get into like a squat position. And I don't know if you have the ability to pull up a video if you want to link this to something else.
Well, I was going to say, I don't want to cut you off. But your videos, I'm definitely going to link them to your video for sure, because there's so much, practical stuff that they can follow there. So definitely going to link those videos below. So if you do have a link for anything you're talking about in particular, just send it, and I'm going to post it, right up there so they can go and check it out. Okay.
Just is filled with a lot of different mobility drills. So if I verbalize instead of showing you, since you have the or linking the videos to this video, I would suggest just getting into like a deep squat position, as deep as you can, and really just kind of like feeling those good areas, moving around. So not just sitting there and dumping into the posture itself, but getting into a squat. And if you could imagine me from the squat, and you kind of just rotate just a little bit at a time. And what you're doing is you're not passive. So, and then fall into the other one, lean over. You can do that, but that's more of a passive stretch. We're talking about mobility. Mobility is active. So you actually want to be in that position where you're feeling the muscles engaged. You don't want to just sit there with just like I said, being passive and just falling into it. That doesn't help much. Flexibility without mobility is there's really no inherent value in that. So getting into a position where, like, if you can mentally just imagine being in a squat, and then just mobilizing yourself, meaning just slowly move into different areas, and you're stimulating all that tissue to just snap. You're creating blood flow to the area. You're stimulating all the mechanoreceptors, and it's stimulating in a way that you're not used to. So if you're not, meaning, why am I tight? I feel a little bit of pain. I'm feeling stiff. Well, let me get into that squat and kind of move around a little bit and see how it feels. In an area that kind of feels like there's some like tightness there, yeah, that feels kind of tight. So let me just kind of like mobilize myself by like maybe shifting my hips over a little bit, bringing my shoulders back this way a little bit, and really just kind of working the tissue in a way that you normally don't. I know that's a little abstract to state, but it just speaks into becoming more conscious of your body awareness, in my opinion.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's like more so being aware, actively paying attention to what you're doing, not just doing it. So another thing is, you're talking about like, filling in those spaces. Is there a tool or an apparatus or something that you would recommend in assisting that would probably, give the effect of more substantial benefit if you're using these things in conjunction with, the natural movement of the body?
The tools that you want to use first and foremost would be reliant on gadgets and the coolest, newest, most expensive toy that can help us move better, be in less pain. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things like dry needling or Theraguns or trigger point tools. Those are good. I try to take more of a minimalistic approach, wherein I focus on my body and what I can do with my body. A deep squat, for example, leveraging your body weight to open up your hips, open up the groin, stretch out your low back, your erectors. So that's a tool. You can't find a specific tool to actually do that for your body. You have to rely on yourself. So if you're asking, I would say that I use a lot of PVC pipes. I use a broomstick. I prefer a PVC pipe because of a little more give. So I typically warm up my shoulders really well with the PVC pipe, and I just go through a variety of different motions. What I like about the PVC pipe as well is that you become restricted to a certain degree. So in other words, I just don't have my arms and I'm flailing them overhead. I can only turn it and rotate it at a certain point until it's almost locking my other arm in, and I have to continue with the fluid motion. So I have a restriction to a PVC pipe. I also like using exercise bands or TheraBands, which they have some give in them, but they're also taught so that you are having to engage your muscles, and you're essentially using resistance along with that. Those are probably my two go-tos as far as tools to use to enhance mobility.
That's good. So definitely, I'm going to write those down, list those as well. How frequent would you say people should be performing drills that you just like mentioned there? How frequent? Once a day, once a week. How frequent for you to see a actual benefit in your mobility and getting rid of these common injuries?
Honestly, I really believe that we should be mobilizing ourselves daily. Everything from hanging drills to shoulder mobility drills to squat drills. The problem is that the two of the most in the shoulder and the hip. There's so many different ranges of motion and specific motions that they can all do. But considering we've like sedentary with our lifestyle and focus on very specific, even people who just traditionally go to the gym and work, like let's say a upper body press day, you're only focusing on two different motions in your shoulder. Your shoulder is so capable of moving in so many different fluid motions. So you really stimulate this pre-workout, post-workout, sometimes first thing in the morning. Now I know it can be a little overwhelming, but if you want to stick to like a specific plan, mobilizing your major joint for like 2 to 3 minutes should be all you need. Like if you do a 2 to 3 minute shoulder mobility routine where you just go through the basic ranges and then do the same thing for your hip, and then do the same thing for your spine. Those are the most neglected areas, in my opinion, from my experience. The shoulder, the spine, and the hips. So 2 to 3 minutes on each one of those areas, I think is sufficient enough daily.
So you see that's not that many minutes, and people say I don't have the time, but it's the accumulation. When you're looking at it for a lifestyle, over a lifetime, you find a way to fit it in your schedule. So 2 to 3 times. You can even do this at work, correct? You're at work and you can get up and perform these mobility drills while you're in your office space or whatever it is.
Absolutely, yeah. Work, home, like anywhere, anytime. I prefer to do mobility drills first thing in the morning. It helps me wake up my body. My body tends to, and like most people, you feel that low back stiffness first thing in the morning. Get up and move. That's it. Just get up and move. Become aware of your body. Put yourself in positions that really just kind of feel good. You'll know it feels good.
100%.
You just kind of feel like, that feels nice. I like that compression to the side, or even if it's a forward fold and you start rocking your body a little side to side. I tend to become. We confuse ourselves and we think like, well, I'm only going to do mobility when I'm at the gym. And you'll go to the gym, 3 days a week or 4 days a week. So that means you're spending, 3 to 5 minutes, here and there doing mobility in the day. Do it first thing in the morning. Set it as a routine. Make it just as big of a habit as brushing your teeth every morning. You're not going to forget to brush your teeth every other day, right? You do it every single day. You do it every day before you leave the house. So it should be essential.
I agree completely.
Motion tends to stay in motion, so keep moving around.
I agree.
And I don't think that there's really a way you can do too much mobility. Like I guess in one perspective you might be able to, but you're moving all day long. You might as well move more effectively and more efficiently. So play with it. Play with your ranges of motion. Like I said, you start to educate yourself on what your body's capable of. Understand the basic joints and understand flexion and extension, and understand rotation, lateral flexion. Like these terms might be over a lot of people's heads, but you got to become more aware. You got one body. You got to take advantage of it and make it as capable as you can.
100%. And that's the thing. The thing that we should be paying attention to the most to is the things that we use every single day, which is our body. We use it from the time we're born to the day that we die.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing that we should be paying attention to, the very most. So guys, if you really want, an inside look of how this mobility stuff goes, I'm going to link your Instagram. I highly recommend that you guys check it out. Where I get all my mobility drills that you guys see is from this man right here. So all the mobility drills, all this stuff, I always try them out, get that stuff. And I must say, especially for my shoulders and doing human flags and stuff, since I've incorporated, those mobility drills, I feel like, the pain that I used to have here and here, you know, I don't have that pain anymore. Now it's effortless performing those movements. So I would definitely recommend that you guys go and check out, you know, his I'll put his social media, anything that he has, any services or any website or anything, link it so people know where to find you, and they can check out your stuff.
Right on, man. I appreciate that. Most of my content is on. You know, I just try to share. Information that I've learned from others or I've discovered from just exploration. So, you know, Will_MCS is my Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I have a website, willmcs.com as well. You know, I give out, you know, just mostly tutorials, basic understandings, and like I said, I just try to share mine if it's relevant to them, and you know, makes a difference in some capacity.
100%. So thank you. I mean, that information right there, while it didn't seem like that, you know, we were talking for that long, we talked and we got a lot of valuable information. So highly appreciate it. Guys, all the information you get, if you don't apply it, it does not matter. You know, you have to be able to apply it. So yeah, you know, giving all the information out, oh, this is so good, and then, you know, you hear it and then you don't go and do anything, you know, no change is going to happen. So make sure, one step out of a time. He said 3 to 5 minutes a day. You know, that's all you need. Focus on a body part each and every day, you know, for the week. And, you know, before you know it, you're going to be moving a lot more efficiently, less pain, and, you know, become the best version of yourself. So once again, we want to say thank you. Thank you for taking your time. We were having a little problem with the connection earlier on, so we were trying to, you know, do our thing. We had to restart the same conversation about 3 times. So thank you. Appreciate the time. And guys, once again, apply the stuff that he was teaching here. Any outro statements you want to make, or?
I think you summed it up pretty well, man. I appreciate you having me on, and yeah, it was fun. Thanks for having me.
100%. So guys, stay tuned for more. Make sure, like I said, I'm going to keep telling you guys, go and check out his page. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. A lot of valuable stuff that you can learn and apply to your daily life. You don't have to be some fitness freak that people think, oh, I'm not into fitness, so I don't have to do that stuff. No, I mean, everybody should have some degree of knowledge and understanding about their own body. You know, that's your body, so you should at least have an understanding, and going and checking out stuff like that will definitely give you an inside look of how your body operates, moves, so, you know, you can avoid common basic injuries that people, no matter what age, you know, they experience that. So thank you once again. I appreciate it, and guys, that's it. Stay tuned for more.